Hello, fellow flow hackers. I wanted to share a video with you today. It's a video about my story, about some things that I went through personally, and a lot of you might have gone through similar things or are going through similar things now. But I thought it was important for me to share, a little bit of what got me going in the direction I'm going now, and what provoked me to create this website, howtohackflow.com, and this video channel, and writing and helping others. And I had a very traumatic experience. It was a while back. I was heavily invested in a project, a business project that I worked on it for many years. I was emotionally invested, financially invested. I had everything into the project. I thought that I was on the right track. I had, in my mind, I was about 95% sure that this was going to be possibly the biggest business deal of my life. It was something that I wanted badly. I worked all day, every day on it. I actually worked so much on it that I didn't actually create enough income to really keep my family going, and it was hard. We really went through some tough times. Anyway, so one day when I was really close to the end of closing this big deal, I woke up one morning. I checked my email on my phone, and the deal had blown up, and the deal had failed, and it wasn't going to happen. And it was devastating. It was life-changing. It was very dramatic. It was very scary. I was scared for a while. I was worried. I was deeply concerned about what was going to happen to myself and my family, of course, and our home and our lifestyle. Everything was on the line, and then it all kaboom! It all ended in one email. And so what happened was at that point when that happened, I let it redefine me. That's not a good thing. I let it take over. The fear and the anxiety and the stress and the worry, and I lost my motivation. I lost my inspiration. I lost my direction. Everything was gone in one day, and it was a spiral. I'm sure that a lot of people can relate, but it was bad, and I didn't even know if there was a way out, and I didn't really even want a way out at some point. I was like a self-fulfilling kind of thing where I was in it, and I almost wanted to be in it, just because I was so mad. I wanted to try to figure it out or rationalize or something. I don't know what I was doing actually, but it was really hard. Anyway, so one day I was in the midst of this crisis mode, and I was just starting to think about ways to recover from this bomb, and I picked up a book, and it's a book that I've talked about before. It's called the Magic of Thinking Big. Actually, I have it right here. This wasn't the copy, I don't think, at the time. I've had several copies. I think this is a newer copy, but anyway, so I remembered what was in that book, and I remembered the message, and the message was thinking big. And I suddenly realized that I was so far into this hole, and I was so invested, and I was so emotional about this event that I had lost my ability to think big. Anyway, so long story short, I instantly was able, and I say instantly, it literally was instantly, I was able to snap myself out of it because of what I had learned in the past, the knowledge that I had acquired in the past from books like, The Magic of Thinking, of Thinking Big and some visualization books and some flow books that I'd read. And, I in my mind, I was able to recover instantly. And I instantly brushed it all off. I instantly got back on track. I instantly started creating new opportunities. And it was from that experience that I decided that once I got out of it, and once I was able to recover, financially, emotionally, and all that stuff, I decided that that it was so bad that I knew that other people had gone through this before. And I decided I needed to share this, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm sharing this experience. I'm sharing the process and how I got out of it. And it was really three elements. I've talked about this in a previous video, but the three things that saved me was the thinking big. So I started thinking big again. I started visualizing my success, and then whenever I worked, I made sure that I entered my flow state before I started working. And we'll talk about these three things in future videos more. But those are the three elements of what got me back on track, how I recovered. And it was a major blow, and I completely turned the page in. It wasn't even a day. It wasn't even an hour. It was within minutes once I realized what I was doing. I was so deep in this hole. And then once I went back to my knowledge, once I went back to all the things I had learned, it was like a light switch, and that light switch is something that everybody has that ability. It's not just me. Everybody has the ability. If you know what's going on inside here, if you know why these things are happening, you can change them, and you can change them fast. It's lightning fast, but you have to be honest with yourself. And I got mad. I was really mad at my situation, and that's part of the anger of, I decided that, this deal, I was not going to let it affect my family. I was not going to let it affect me. I was not going to let it affect the homes that I bought in the future, or the cars that I bought in the future, or the vacations that we took. I was not going to let that be my outcome. It's just flat out that instantaneously I realized that I wasn't thinking big. I was thinking really small, and I wasn't going to let that be the story. It wasn't going to be like that. And really, for me, changed everything. And I know my message to you is, I know that as hard as it is, and as difficult as it may seem, when you're going through the process, there is a way out. There is a way out, and that way out is to change the mindset, and it's very empowering. And I owe a lot to this specific book. I mentioned this specifically. It's The Magic of Thinking Big. But again, I'll put in the description. I'll put a link to it. But I owe a lot to that because of the message. The message is that expansion of your thinking. So important. So important when you're going through it. When you're in the muck. When you're in the mud. And you're in the middle of it. And expanding it, you combine that with the visualization, and then you combine the big thinking with flow, and all the opportunities, all of the financial opportunities are out there for us, just opened back up again. It was like it was like the deal that didn't go through, the deal that blew up didn't even matter. Literally didn't even matter, because I saw the big picture. I saw how many other things there are, and I suddenly started pursuing those other things. I suddenly started again pushing, and I used that experience to fuel me. And anyway, so I just wanted to share my story. Please, if you want to hear more about these things that I talk about with the combination, success is thinking big, visualization, and flow. Those three elements come together and create success. So if you want to hear more about that, if you want to be made aware by email when we release a new video, subscribe down below, and we hope to see you again in future videos. Thanks.